Hi, welcome back to Chris's YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about his front end, the license plate, and also a little bit about his wheels. Since I live in Missouri and Texas, New York, and all the other states, there's about 14 of us that require front license plates. Was the first challenge I had when Chris decided to come live at the garage. So the first thing I did was I tried the license plate mount on the tow hook. And that put the plate way out front and off center, and it just really didn't look good. It was kind of a neat option, but looked terrible in the car. Then I took a look at mounting it up with the standard supplied Chevrolet plate, which put it on the front and again stood it way out in the front. Didn't look good at all. And so then I saw on YouTube Dad's driveway. And what he came up with, which I really thought was a super idea, was simply taking the plate and bending it in the middle, which I did, and the plate looked pretty good, but it was still a big white blob right in the middle of all that beautiful black that the design engineers had put on the front of the C8. So I said, well, what are we going to do about that? And then I decided, well, I really don't like those smoked covers that you see on license plates, but this is the front cover, and I'm not doing it on the back. So I decided, well, let's try one of those smoke plates because I think it would lessen the brilliance of that white standing out. So I took my heat gun, I heated it up and down in the center front and then also on the back on the inside until it got a little bit pliable. Then without the license plate in place, I pushed it into that pocket that Dad's driveway showed you to use. It's already built into the car. And held it there for about a minute because you want to let that plastic cool in that bent position. Once it does, it will have a memory and stay with that bend. Then it made it really easy. I put the bent plate in, put the cover on front of it, and put the screws in. And that looked pretty good, but another friend of mine pointed it out. The screws were kind of silver and they kind of popped in. So I went back, a little solvent paint so it would stand up to the weather. Painted the screws black, and I think the overall appearance is much more like what the design engineers intended for the front of the C8 to look. I think it really looks actually pretty good because it's kind of hidden and it's out of sight, and the front looks like it should look for the front of a C8. So let's move over to the wheels. On the wheels, I wanted to match the graphics, or at least go along with the graphics, complement it, that's on the side and on the hood of the car. So what I did was I went to Stickers RS. I sent them the artwork for the arrowhead at the actual size that I wanted for the stickers. Added that big red tail on the back. I wish the red had been a little bit longer because I'd like for it to have been a little longer on the wheel, but they actually look pretty good. I also added the rim protectors, that red plastic that goes around the outside. The rim protector was a little bit of a disappointment. It came from Amazon. The adhesive that came on it really did not hold at all. So I took my thumbs and rolled that off I don't know how many feet of it. Went back to 3M to their very high bond, their VHB tape, which works for everything on a car. That's how the manufacturer puts it together, with VHB. So I got some 1/4 inch wide, put that on the rim protector, stuck them on, and they've been on there for weeks now, and they're doing absolutely great as far as protecting the rims from any kind of scuffs or marks or whatever. So I think the overall effect of the wheels kind of complements the look of the car. You may not agree if you're not a Chiefs fan, but at any rate, I think the car looks pretty good, especially if you have any leniency or any tendency to like the Chiefs. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is an LT1. Chris is an LT1. And I really think the one feature that Chevy should have put on the LT1, they know that they have restricted our viewpoint or our view out the back down to about 10 or 15 degrees at the maximum off of that rear mirror. They really should put that video rear-facing camera on all of their models just for a safety standpoint, if nothing else. So the first thing I wanted to do was turn Chris into kind of an LT2 and put on the rear camera. And that's the next episode. I'll go through how I went about adding the rear-facing camera to Chris so that he has a much safer I have a much safer view when I'm inside him and trying to drive. So stay tuned until we meet again. Enjoy the ride.